Hey everyone, welcome back to another Blue Ship tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about use substitution and just going through some practice problems. So let's go ahead and get started. So just as a quick refresher, use substitution is a technique for evaluating integrals that are in this form f of g of x, and sometimes this g of x is actually written as u. So f of g of x times g prime of x dx, and rewriting those integrals as f of u du, and sometimes this formulation is a lot simpler to evaluate. And the tricky part here is always figuring out how to define the functions f and g so that the integral is actually in that form, which is what we're going to work on here. So in the first example, this is pretty straightforward. The 5x to the fourth should jump off the page right away. So that looks like the integral of, or sorry, that looks like the derivative of this chunk right here. So if we call this g prime of x and this g of x, so we see that 5x to the fourth is the derivative of g of x, which is x to the 5. And so our function, our outer function f of u is just cosine u, which gives f of g of x to be cosine g of x, which is cosine x to the 5th. And then so we can just use that formula to rewrite this as f of u du, which is just the integral of cosine u du, which is just sine u plus c, which is sine, since g of x is just u, plus c, which is sine x to the 5th plus c. The next example, it's a little bit trickier. So if we had to guess, maybe a good starting point would be to guess that this is g of x, e to the 3x. And then what we would be looking for then is for something like 3e to the 3x out here, but we don't have that. We have 6e to the 3x. So this requires a little bit of algebraic manipulation. So let's just write the 6e to the 3x as 2 times 3e to the 3x times sine e to the 3x dx. And then, so let's bring out the 2, and then we have 3e to the 3x times sine e to the 3x dx. In this case, let's say we define g of x to be e to the 3x, and g prime of x to be 3 is 3 times e to the 3x, which is right here. So we have, that leaves us with f having to be f of u would be sine u. So then f of g of x would be sine g of x, which is just sine e to the 3x. So again, this chunk right here is g prime of x, then this is just f of g of x. So it is in that form, that now this integral is in that form where we can apply the f of u du integral instead. So let's do that. So this is just f of u du. And so this would be the integral of sine u du, which is 2 times negative cosine u plus c. And so this is just negative 2 cosine u plus or minus 2c. And we can just call this some other variable to get the 2 out of there. So we'll say it's negative 2 cosine u plus d, and then this is just negative 2 cosine g of x, which is negative 2 cosine e to the 3x. And there you have it.